Joining me now is Ammar Campa-Najjar. He is running in the 50th District of California for United States Congress against Duncan Hunter Jr., beleaguered congressman from that district. Ammar, welcome back to Rebel headquarters.
It's good to be with you again. Thanks for having me.
No problem. So Ammar, I want to mainly talk about Duncan Hunter Jr. because he has said some insane things recently, including about you, and I want to get your response. But before we do that, one fun note here. Apparently, as we've told the audience, you are part of the 7 progressives that Ben and Jerry's and Move On have decided to support. And so they can name an ice cream flavor after you. It's at moveon.org/Ben and Jerry. Do you have a suggestion out there? Because you can participate too. You could also get a free pint if they pick the name for you that you picked.
Yeah. A lot of people are talking about maybe doing Ammar Can as apple pie.
Oh, I see. Okay. I hope they don't do bye-bye American pie, but okay. Okay, well, you're doing really well, so that's not likely. This is supposed to be a heavily Republican district, but you are now tied in the most recent poll, which is astounding and unprecedented.
Pretty remarkable.
Partly because you've run an amazing campaign. You've raised $1 million. I don't know how you did that without taking corporate PAC money in one district. We're going to get to that in a second, actually, but I want to go down the list of things that Duncan Hunter Jr. recently said. So a lot of people remember, of course, he's brought up on corruption charges, accused of taking over $250,000 from his campaign and using it for personal expenses, lying about how he was using it to help veterans and then buying himself clothes, etc. But so I'm going to start with the one that people aren't talking about enough, Ammar. He recently said, Trump understands that the only way to fix something that is so broken as our system is to break it totally. Is he saying that Trump is in the middle of breaking things totally? I thought he supported him. What a weird thing to say.
No, I mean, in one breath, Duncan Hunter calls Donald Trump an a-hole. In the next breath, he says he's the best president of our lifetime. So I'm not sure where Duncan Hunter's relationship with the president is, or his mental relationship with himself is these days. But I'm just laser focused on my district. I've been talking to even Republicans who are telling me that they don't want to have a lawbreaker be our lawmaker, that they want somebody who will rein in corruption, not be the poster child for it, and somebody who will focus on them instead of blaming everybody for his problems, whether it's blaming me or his family or the Republican Party or the deep state or Democrats and the Justice Department. This man is someone who doesn't taking personal responsibility.
So, Ammar, speaking of which, you ran an ad where you explained or showed him blaming his wife for his problems. So, are you sure that it was him and not his wife that took all that money illegally?
I'm pretty sure. When you look at some of the expenses, I don't think his wife would have signed off on some of the expenses that are chronicled in that 48-page document, especially when it includes extramarital situations. So I'm pretty sure it's him.
Yeah, so there was accusations of 5 different mistresses, and yes, it would be surprising if his wife decided to make those decisions. So now getting back to the point that we're making about fundraising, he also said in this recent rampage that he went on, he said, it's corporations and government versus the people. Well, that sounds pretty good. He says, and they're happy if you shut your mouth, shut your minds, and keep on doing what you're doing like a rat in a wheel, running around and around. But wait a minute, I thought you were the one not taking corporate PAC money and that he does take corporate PAC money. Do I have that reversed?
No, he's now singing my tune. All of a sudden, he's finding himself to be an anti-corporate guy, where he's taken money his whole career from the NRA, big oil, big pharma, telecoms, the military-industrial complex. So he's trying to appeal to people who believed in my populist message, and he's trying to do a bait and switch in the 11th hour because he's desperate. Everything that Hunter is doing now, it just reeks of desperation, and it reeks of the swamp. So I think a lot of people are turning their backs on him. That's why he's just pulling at every lever that he can. We had 3 Republicans come to our office today who said to me, we were appalled by the attacks that Hunter is waging on you. They see it as a weapon of mass distraction. and they just think it's time for somebody who will show up for them and work hard to take this seat, and not someone who inherited the seat from his father and then just sells his votes to the highest bidders in Washington. That's been his legacy for the past 10 years, and he's trying to just make everybody forget he's been for the past 10 years when there's 48 pages of beating corruption that he's being indicted for right now.
Well, so let's get to the charges that he's leveling at you. I mean, such as they are, I mean, they're so preposterous, but there's so many here, but I got to give you a couple of quotes. He said, "You had more Islamists run for office this year at the federal level than ever before in US history. You have radical Islamist propaganda being pushed on the kids in our San Diego school district. Have you seen that? They put them on prayer rugs and they say, we got to honor every religion." Now, he apparently is partly referring to you. First of all, are you Muslim?
No, I'm not. I'm Christian. And I was raised Muslim as a child. And the mere fact that I just said I am Christian in certain parts of this world, I would be killed for. So it's not something that I just say just to say. It's my view. But above and beyond that, it really shouldn't matter what your personal religion is. We live in America where the Constitution protects your freedom of and from religion. That's this country's creed. And then he goes on to attack me about me being a national threat when I got a security clearance from the White House. And one of the ways that you could lose security clearance is if you end up not having financial stability, because that foreign entity is manipulating you. And so a lot of veterans are telling me today, if Hunter were to try to get a security clearance today, he probably would get one. And that's the sad irony of this whole race. We have congressmen who once served our country honorably. I don't support many missions that we have abroad, but I support the troops. But that man never made it back from the battlefield. And he lost his way in Washington. He got chewed up and spat out because it started with special interest. And special interest turns into self-interest, and self-interest turns into self-destruction. And that is the path that the congressman is on now. And he's blaming everybody for his problems, me, his wife, the Republican Party, the Fox News media. He's blaming the Democratic Party. He's just waging war on everyone, and it just speaks volumes to the fact that this man feels cornered. I don't wish him ill will. I have to set my sympathies aside for him and focus on my district, and that's what this has always been about getting corporate PAC money out of politics, getting corruption out of Washington, putting country over party, because there's corruption on both sides. Democrats aren't innocent; they're guilty of this stuff too. So we're trying to make sure that people's voices are championed. And a lot of people feel like they feel forgotten from Hunter.
Ammar, I think that your planned Islamist takeover of Washington is going to be impeded by the fact that you're not Muslim. So I don't know if you thought that one through, but now, I mean, look, talk about absurd. Are they really making all the kids in San Diego do Muslim prayers in schools?
Look, you're a pretty good reporter. If that was happening, you would know about it. It's absurd. It is absurd. It is sad. It is fear-mongering. And I think it speaks to the kind of politics that we have today, where it's about identity politics. Again, when have you heard me talking about, my ethnicity? I always talked about apprenticeship jobs. That's been my biggest. People talk about it in the liberal media or just any media because it's not sexy enough. My biggest focus has been trying to get people to work, give them good paying jobs, give them good union jobs, right? And move towards renewable energy and control the worst crimes of climate change, rein in dark money. That's always been what I've run on. And Hunter has a fetish with my identity. He is obsessed with me. And he needs to focus on our district, not on my identity or somebody who died before I was born. I want to put country over party. He wants to put his wife under the bus. And I think November 6th, people will know the sharp contrast between me and him when it comes to character and when it comes to politics. That's how the polls are tied today. And in 41 days, we'll be celebrating victory on November 6th.
Yeah, and so remember, for all of his BS talk against corporations, Duncan Hunter Jr. is taking a ton of corporate PAC money as we speak, whereas Ammar's not taking any. And that's why he has more credibility to talk about getting money out of politics, and why he also needs your help to do that. because that means small donors are powering them. So Campa-Campaign.com is the website. Obviously, we'll put up the links for volunteering and donating as well. If you're watching this later on YouTube or Facebook, the links will be down below in the description box or comment section. Unfortunately, we didn't get to every absurd thing that Duncan Hunter Jr. said, including how maybe we should invade the Philippines because they're Muslim. What? Okay, but Ammar, I appreciate your fight to help the people in your district and for all the issues that we care about, and most importantly, a living wage. So thank you for joining us again. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
On the go? Don't worry, we got you covered. You can still listen to TYT at our new podcast network. Find us on Apple Podcasts, the Google Play Store, or at tyt.com/podcast.